Hello everyone. In this second video devoted to initiating you into Python, we're gonna see how to use it, right? And for that purpose, we're gonna be downloaded an interface similar to the interface you might be using in MATLAB or other type of applications, right? The one that we're gonna be using is called VS Code, Virtual Studio Code, which is developed by Microsoft and is can be used for many different languages indeed. So it's not only valid for Python, it can be used for C, Java, so it's not Python specific. There are others. Another that might be relevant is PTerm. Okay, it's another interface specifically devoted to Python. You might use any of them, right? But as you might imagine, in the end, you would learn different tricks, different things by using it. So I would recommend you to stick to one. We use this Visual Studio Code because it allows very easily to develop code from remote and run it in servers, right? So that's why in the end decided to use VS Code for research purposes. For your case, it might not be needed, and both of them might work. But let's stick to Visual Studio Code for now. Again, here you have documentation, updates. I mean, many things that you can use, right? You can surf a little bit through the website for the utilities, and in the end, what we need to do is simply download it. We can use the Macintosh, Windows, Linux. You can look for other setups if needed, and just you could click and download it. Again, please do it before coming to the lecture so that we save some time in downloading and installing stuff. Once you have the software package downloaded, you just need to execute it easily. There is nothing specific or complex that you should do as in any other type of application today. Okay, and once we have the software, right? The software looks like this. Okay, you are not seeing it because there is a menu up, but I'm going File, Open folder, so we can open a folder, and in this case I am opening a library that I have installed in my home, which is called Rock Climate. Okay, just as an example, and this is what you can see here, right? So basically this is the Explorer. Here we can see the library, the content of our folder. I could create a new file if I wanted to do so. I could create a new folder inside this folder, right? And other refreshing, etc. Okay, and if I'm here, just by opening, for instance, this file, this is a what we call Python notebook, right? Which we will see in class because we will be doing an exercise based on a Python notebook, which is quite nice for prototyping because you can just execute pieces of the code and see the results. So that's quite nice. So you have one cell in here. Okay, this is cell 1, and then you have the output of this cell, and then you could have a second cell, and so on and so forth. In any case, we are not going to go into these details today. Okay, once you have this file open, we can also have this .py, which is this other one, which is a script, a Python script, okay, that you could execute. How to build a script, how to understand these packages that we're importing always at the beginning of the code, we will see that during the class. Okay, so do not worry. As for the kind of things we can do, so here is the Explorer for the folder. Here we can search for anything. Here is something interesting because this library might be connected to a Git repository, right? So you are connected to a repository, someone is developing that library, and you are continuously watching that repository and downloading to your local the updates. So you will see if the repository is up to date in your local, and or if you want to push something to the repository. That's very typical in developing codes, developing libraries, and it's quite interesting to have this type of features. Then here is the run and debug. Okay, you can run the scripts or you can debug the scripts. We will see an example in a second. Here are all the extensions that you can install, including artificial intelligence tools to help you coding, things or tunnels to connect with SSH, like this one. There are the Python kind of packages that come with the software. So there are many type of add-ons, right, that you can install simply by searching here and installing the for your needs. Okay, so we will tell you which ones to install, if any, right? These are the ones that I have installed, but there are many others. Okay, it will make your lives easier, right? Then if you are connecting to any remote server, which I don't think is your case, but you should know that in the industry, even in the research groups, we do it very, very intensively, right? We have very powerful servers and we connect via SSH, and we can simply connect to this SSH with the key and editing as if we were using our computer and running as if we were using our computer with this connection. Okay, and then there are tests if you are developing libraries and other things that you can incorporate here that we're not gonna go into detail. So with this menu, you can do different things like connecting to hosts. For instance, here you would write here the IP and do many other things. Okay. So talking about different versions of Python, here you have different what we call interpreters, right? Different versions, Python 3.10.8, which is installing US user local v in Python 3, the 10.3.10.12, and others, right? 2.7, 3.9. So you can directly use the version installed in your system, or you could create, which is something that you see here in these kind of names, environmental or env cobra blah blah blah, or env roost. Those are virtual environments that we create ad hoc for a specific project, and we use a specific interpreter and a specific list of packages, right? We will see how to create these virtual environments and to install packages, because this is quite useful to really control the continuous evolution of the packages and the code, right? Which is quite different from what you would have possibly experienced in MATLAB, which is a quite stable infrastructure. When it comes to debugging, right? For instance, if we go here and we could here we could say I would be debugging the cell. Okay, so it's running in debug mode, right? And here I see some kind of instruction. Now it's running. It might take a while. You see that it's running 10 seconds, 11 seconds. This is not going to give any error. Indeed, it's running. Okay, I'm basically optimizing something. Okay, so in this case, things are going okay. You could simply stop the debugging mode or disconnect, right? Restart, and here you would have the typical functionalities to continue, move on for the next line of code, or step in a given function. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it because otherwise it's gonna take forever. And the same we could do it in here, right? Here you have this. You can run it or you can debug it. If we debug it, this is giving an error precisely because I don't have this package, and I should now install it and use it. Okay, so in any case, this is just a very brief touch base with the interface with VS Code. Just make sure that you install Python, the latest stable version, as in the previous video, that you install VS Code. You can try to use it a little bit, and when we start the lecture, you will see how to download the information we are preparing, and make it to work, executing, doing some basic coding, and starting to get familiar with Python. Thanks very much for your attention.